Welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to see top-down approach in the Python programming. That means how to solve problems from top-down approach. So let us see. The top-down approach is to produce a plan to solve a problem. So I think we all know, in a programming language, mostly the programming concept going to be worked out on problem solving. So for every problem, so to identify that solution for that particular problem, the compiler used to follow some procedure. Here in Python programming language, so to solve a problem, here we have a structure. Top-down approach is going to be introduced in this lab. So let us see what is top-down approach. First we have a root level. Root level means that first it is like a starting of the program. It's going to be divided into multiple levels. The program is going to be divided into multiple levels. For example, if I have to solve a particular problem, I have multiple functions in that problem. That means this is function 1, function 2, function 3, like that. So in level 1, we are going to solve the functions individually. And next level 2, it also used to split the function into multiple parts. It also split the function into multiple parts. Again you used to combine and get the final solution. This is nothing but a top-down approach. So let us see. The root is an entry point. First of all, we are seeing the root. This root is a entry point of the program. The first level contains several subtasks. The problem is going to be divided into several subtasks. Subtasks, that means task 1, task 2, task 3, like that, so on, n number of tasks. Based on the problem, it's going to divide it into number of tasks. We simply call it as a level 1. Okay, these tasks work together to solve the initial problem. If subtask is not trivial at the first level, we divide again into small subtasks. That means, for example, this is a subtask. This subtask again divided into multiple subtasks. Like this, n number of tasks are going to be divided. It solves each and every task and brings the output, whatever you want. So this is the top-down approach. So we have following steps. First one is start with the initial problem statement. Next, define subtask at the first level. Next, divide the subtask into higher level to more specific tasks. And next, repeat the step 3 until you will get the exact output and refine the algorithm for the real code. So finally, we will get the algorithm for the real code. That means output. So this is the top-down approach in Python programming language. Next concept, recursive function. We all know in C programming language also we have discussed the recursive function. What is a recursive function? The function calls itself is called a recursive function. We all know. So here in Python we have a small definition. A recursive function is a function that defined in terms of itself. That means it calls itself via self-referential expression. Okay. So that means we have some expression, self-referenced expression to call the function itself. So we all know, well-known example is the factorial. Factorial is a well-known example for recursive function. So let us see a factorial program. First, I define a function. That function name is factorial recursive. Function name is factorial recursive. I pass a argument, that means what number, for what number you want the factorial. So here, if n equals to 1, return 1. That means if factorial is 1, what is the factorial for 1? It is 1. Next, otherwise you go with the else condition, else return n into factorial recursion. That means, for example, if I want 5 factorial, that means you are going to find 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 like this. We all know. So, if you perform like this, first n value is 5. Come here, n equals to 5. No, it's false. Then go to the else statement. 5 into factorial of recursive, that means 5 minus 1. That means here in the next stage you have 4. After that 3. After that 2. And finally 1. Like this you are going to solve the problem. Here let us see 5 factorial. 5 factorial into 5 into 4. 4 into 3. 3 into 2. 2 into 1. Again you are calling the same function without writing the code for that. So this is called recursive function. Okay. Next, function arguments. In functions we have this is the important concept. Function arguments. What is a function argument? You call a function argument using following types. First one is keyword arguments. Second one is default arguments. Next one is variable length or arbitrary arguments. So let us see one by one. First, Python keyword arguments. What is keyword arguments? I am defining a function def, which is demo, name, age. I have two arguments, name and age. I have two parameters here. Name is age, years old. I simply write the statement like this. Here let us observe the word keyword argument. The word keyword argument is demo. I just call the function demo. Demo of name equals to Steve. Here I just observe the name of that variable, name and age. This is name and age. Name equals to Steve, age equals to 35. It will print, that means name is Steve, age is 35 years old. It is your output. Next, observe the second point, demo, age equals to 20. So here, first argument is name, but what you write, age equals to 20. Where age is? Age is here. So in Python, it will automatically treat this as second argument, not a first argument. And name equals to Mohan. It will take this name Mohan as the first argument. That means Mohan is that means age 20 years old. That is your output. In a first case, name is Steve, age 35. Okay. So at this case, what it prints? Steve is 35 years old is your output. Next here, age equals to 20 and name is Mohan. Just reverse it. In C programming language, it doesn't allow. Here, age is equals to 20, name equals to Mohan. It will take the second argument as the first and first argument as the second. Now, Mohan is 20 years old is the output. Next, here Bucky and age 40. Here I have not mentioned name equals to Bucky. Next, I simply write age equals to 40. Here, if you are not mentioned name equals to Bucky, Python compilers automatically take the first value as the name. Here you simply write age equals to 40. That means it will take Bucky as name and age equals to 40. Bucky is 40 years old. What I said, in a first one you write name and age. Simply Steve is name, age is 35. Clear. Next, you just reverse it. Age, name. If you write like this also, the compiler take name as Mohan, age is 20. No need to write in a sequential way. Okay. Next, here I am not mentioning name here. So of course, if you not mention, it will take Bucky and age. Like this, you have to work out. This is the concept of keyword argument. Next, default argument. What is default argument? Let us define a function demo again. Def demo. And I am write name here. Age equals to 30. Previously observe, I simply call name and age. I am not mentioned age equals to 30 or 40 over there. But here I am mentioning age equals to 30. This is nothing but default. Defaultly name is 30. If you give any age, it will take that age. Otherwise, it will take age as 30 by default. So let us see. First, demo of Steve. Observe, here only I pass one argument. Only I pass one object here. So this is Steve, but demo having two arguments. One is name and second is age. But I just pass one argument, Steve. It will take Steve, and second argument by default it takes 30. By default it takes 30. Then Steve is 30 years old. It will write like that statement. Your output is like that. Next, let us observe the second statement, demo of Lucy 20. Here observe, name is Lucy and age is 20. But default argument age equals to 30. Here in this case, it just replace 20. It simply replace 20. So, if you are not given any name, by default it will take 30. If you give some name here, so then it will take the given age by replacing the default variable value. That means Lucy is 20 years old. Like that, Buggy, comma 40. See here also same. So here it is 40. Buggy is 40 years old. This is your output. Like this, you can pass the variable. Here, in the case of name also, if you give any name here, okay, it will treat name as a default argument. Clear? Next one. Arbitrary arguments. What is arbitrary argument? Arbitrary arguments are going to be represented with star symbol. Here observe the function def, fruits, star. Here observe the symbol star, f names. Previously we have some parameters, name, age, and here also name, age, but we are not using any star symbol. But in this case, we are using a star symbol. This star symbol means it is nothing but here we can pass multiple arguments. You can pass multiple arguments. Let us observe. I simply write for fruit in f names. What is f names? What is f names? F name is nothing but here I am passing f name. Here print fruit. Fruit is nothing but this variable. Okay? I am just calling this function. I am just calling this fruits, orange, banana, apple and grapes I pass. But here observe I have a single parameter in a function. But with the help of star says multiple inputs. With the help of stars, you can pass multiple arguments. With this, for fruits in f name. What is f name? F name is nothing but orange, banana, apple and grapes. This is F name. Here you have indexing for each value. For orange it is 0, banana it is 1, it is 2 and grape is 3. So F name of 0 equals to orange, F name of 1 equals to banana and 2 equals to apple and 3 equals to grape. Great. Let's see. F name here I have first initially for fruits in F name. What fruit contains first? Orange. Print fruit. Fruit means first it prints orange. Next, for loop iterates and it is incremented to next value banana. Okay, print banana it prints. Again for loop iterates apple it prints. Again after that it prints grapes. Like this it used to repeat multiple times. Next, arbitrary arguments. Arbitrary arguments, again you have one more model. So here in this model we have, let us observe the concept. I define a function, my function of argument 1 and here star arguments I have. Here I have star arguments. So no need to, so here I just use a single arbitrary argument. Here I use single argument along with normal argument. In this case, print first argument equals to argument 1. It prints the argument 1 and for argument equals to next argument through like this. So I simply pass my function. I am just calling a function. Hello, welcome to Vignan. Hello, welcome to Vignan. Here the first argument whatever we pass it will treat as arg1s. It will treat as arg1s. Okay. Next, the remaining arguments whatever we pass in that function are going to be passed to this arbitrary argument. Arbitrary arguments. That means here hello is going to be moved to arg1 and remaining all the inputs are going to be passed to star argb. Okay. Here from here it is common. Argb means first argument equals to hello. Next argument through argb is welcome. Again the for loop iterates. Observe the for loop. For loop iterates. Next argument through argb is 2. Next again Vignan. Like this we have multiple arguments are going to be passed in a functions. Thank you.